What's up, guys? Welcome back to Breakout Trading. Today is day 3 of the Trade Zero account, and I'm going to be going over the trades I made today. So today was another kind of red to break even day. It's been really hard out here lately. Man, I started trading in like March, April, June, July. All those months were phenomenal. Everything I learned was like all these bounce plays off VWAP and for these nice trending small caps, and now all of that is just out the window, and it's really hard to trade any of these long. So that's kind of why I came over to Trade Zero, is because I'm just going to start shorting the hell out of these as long as they're fading all day. Because man, if you're trying to long small caps in this market, you must be getting wrecked, because there is absolutely no opportunity for that. So yeah, I guess more shorts tomorrow. We shorted one thing today. It was kind of a messy one because I'm not too familiar with shorting, but when the market changes, you got to adapt, so that's what I plan on doing. So anyways, day 3 here, only up $3 net profit. I guess it's alright because we took a pretty decent sized loss in the morning. So commissions and borrow fees and everything all included, we're pretty much break even on the day, so whatever. It's better than being red. Execution today was pretty good, 7.75 out of 10. I took about 4 trades, kind of 4 or 5 trades today. So the first trade of the day was a breakout trade on GSUM. It consolidated a bit after the open, and then it broke through its high that it had put in on the open, and it had great volume coming in, and then it even came back down and tested that high as support, and then made a newer high, and then rug got pulled and the thing just dropped like a rock. And I took a full-size loss on it, 22 including commissions. So this was the open on it here, and this one was gapping up pretty good in the morning. And then you can see, boom, right here, this is what caught my attention. I had this huge rip over the high here, and if you look on the daily too, it's really nice setup. It's been held below this 200-day for forever, and today's actually a golden cross for it. This yellow one's the 50-day and the blue one's the 200. And you can see it's been holding over the 200 moving average, and I thought today might be the day where it really extends. This one's pretty small float, GSUM, 22 million shares and only a 40 million market cap. So if I wanted to go, it would have went. I was targeting like $2.50, $3, but it just didn't want to go. So it made this big move here, broke out through that 179 level, nice big volume. I went ahead and bought a pullback here. I got long. This is what it looked like. So I got long here, somewhere around that area on the pullback, and you can see like it's testing this high right there as support. We're above all the pre-market stuff. To me, it looked like a clean shot, and this is my 3-to-1 R&R target that I had there. And I was ready for this thing to maybe go back to 180 and then just continue up. There was lots of room. I was probably going to take a piece off at $2, the whole number, and see where we went from there. But what ended up happening is the rug just got completely pulled here, and we ended up stopping out right at the low of day. You can see, yeah, so I bought 138 shares at 181, and I sold those shares there at 167. So taking like a like 14-15 cent hit there. So yeah, that's no fun. Anyways, that was the first loss of the morning, and right away I was down 22, and just like yesterday on Beyond was it. So that's frustrating again to just start the morning in the hole, like especially something like this where it just like, come on, man, it just absolutely just wrecks you. There's not really like I wrote in here. There's not really much. I don't really think I can learn from this. Just a rug pull. Like to me, this looks like a pretty awesome setup there. Fresh new morning high. Big volume candle. Daily look great. Pre-market over top of all that. Low float, gapper. All the boxes were checked. It's just a losing trade. So yeah, and then it just kind of chopped around all day too. So whatever. At least I didn't get stopped out at the low of day, and then it like rips to $3. So it's all right. We'll survive. Well, we did survive. We crawled our way back today. Dug ourselves out of the hole. So can't complain. Honestly, yeah, I don't really know what I could have done. Maybe waited for more of an uptrend. So I gave this a 9 out of 10 with a question mark, because if you guys see anything that I did wrong, let me know, but I think that that was a great setup. So second trade was on SLDB. Small caps have been fading so hard after the initial morning pop, so I located some shorts and went short. Basically, I just went for the support resistance flip, as this was stair stepping down. So just previous previous support now flipped as resistance, and the goal was to kind of have this thing stay below VWAP and fade throughout the day. My shorting was pretty terrible though. I don't short anything ever, so this is definitely new to me, but I'm definitely willing to learn if that's the only plays that we're going to have available. So yeah, I got 100 shares located, and I accidentally went short with it all. So let's go over to that. So right here is on the 1 minute chart. We kind of broke below all this support here that we were playing off of in the morning, and I don't know, I kind of chased this. I was trying to wait for the pop, but I just wanted in. My stop loss was above here, over VWAP, and above these kind of wicks here. I think it was at 540 to start. And I accidentally went in 100 shares there, as you can see, short 100, and that is way past my I messed up my Excel calculator, so that's why I accidentally put in the wrong share size there. And obviously that's like a massive loss if this thing reclaimed VWAP and rips, so I cut it right away. Even though that's what I wanted, even though that was the position I wanted, I cut it because I knew that I couldn't handle the risk if we started to reclaim $5 in VWAP. So it ended up being a small winner, even though it was a bit of an execution error there. So I got filled for the short at 472 and sold it at 460. So I made like about 10 cents there and ended up making $10 before commissions or locate fees on that one. So that was kind of nice. And then I said yeah. So I got out right away. And I got out quick because I knew my risk wasn't where I wanted it to be. And I waited for another pop under VWAP to reshort with my regular risk, and I didn't get the best entry. So after I got out on that mistake, I kind of was waiting patiently. I got kind of distracted by some other stuff, so I missed like this really good entry here at like 480. But I was basically trying to get filled anywhere below 5 here, and then I could use VWAP and this level as my my little shield for my stop loss. So I missed this pop here, and then it started to sell off really hard, so I went in again there. A bit of a chase as well. I went in again there with 23 shares with my stop loss over VWAP, and this thing started to kind of form like this uptrend line. And I was hoping that it would be a bull flag, not an ascending a bear flag, not an ascending triangle. So I had my stop loss rate at 5, and this thing ended up actually breaking down out of that trend line there. And I ended up just covering on this wash here at covered that at 444 right here for a very small win of only about $5. Yeah, I need to work on my short skills because I wanted to cover before this this low here. I thought that we might have some support when we got down to this area. We ended up cracking right through that, and that kind of sucked because literally right after I covered, this thing dropped like another like 40 cents in like 10-20 minutes, so that sucked. But you know, that's alright. I'm not going to be too hard on myself because I don't ever short anything, so you know, that was alright. We did pretty good. We made a couple bucks overall. Net profit on both of those short trades was $9. Execution was not great. I'm new to shorting, so I don't really have too much stuff to say. But I could have waited for a better entry. Obviously, the best entry was up here, but I don't know if I want to chase these initial morning like pops. That seems like a recipe for disaster because, you know, there's eventually going to be that one that just rips your face off. So I'd rather wait for it to get below VWAP, and then at least it looks weak below VWAP. So the third trade of the day was by far the best setup and worked out the best. I went long NKLA, NKLA, because it had formed into a beautiful bull flag pattern and it was very strong on the day. It also had some decent room to run on the daily chart before any major areas of resistance. Also, it had sold off very hard last week, so there was lots of shorts who were going to want to cover their positions. So NKLA, good old NKLA with their fake electric vehicles. Yeah, so anyways, this thing formed into a very nice bull flag. Right there. So just like so. After having, as you can see, made like boom, double bottom on the day there, went right through VWAP, had a very nice extension, and really started holding way up here. So not even like, kind of not even letting the shorts breathe at all, not even giving them an exit. You can see we have our declining volume, so this was looking pretty stellar to me. And like I was saying on the daily chart, we had this breakdown area here at 29.33, and we were basically, oh, this is terrible, it's hard to see like that. That's better. We basically broke down from that, retested as resistance, so that is resistance, so you don't want to be holding anything long into that. And then we had a bit of a bottom form here, and then this is the first day where we kind of had some room from about 21 up to 28, so lots of room there for a nice move, and that's exactly what happened today. I kind of underestimated how much it actually had to move, because as you'll see, I sold this way too early. But anyways, here we got long. We got long at 24.37 with 40 shares, and our stop loss was right below here. Our stop loss was at 23.96. So here's the screenshot from the day. Stop there for 40 shares, 23.96, and like I just said, we got long there at 24.37 because I thought it was going to break out right here, and I had this volume bar here, but it ended up turning red because it got rejected, and we kind of fell back into the triangle. And then I was like, oh man, this is going to be brutal if I got stopped out, because I know this is the right idea, but I might have just jumped the gun. And luckily, if you can look at the low of day here, so we have 24.04, 24 on the dot, 24.05, 24.02, 24.05. So luckily, what I write in here is I strategically placed, and I did this, like I was going to place it at like 24, but then I was like, no, 24 is a whole number. You definitely want to be below that. I strategically placed it just below 24, and it never got tapped on the pullback. So that was lucky. We never got hit on that pullback, and then boom, the breakout finally happens. We get the volume coming in, and I ended up selling it way too early, man. Like, this was my, where was my original target? Same thing again, man. Same thing, just selling these too damn early, Jacob. This was my 3-to-1 R&R, 25.8, and I sold it all at 25, man, which is honestly still pretty good. Actually, looking at it from this perspective, that's a decent little sell right there. But I left about half of it on the table. It could have been a $40 plus trade if I just stick to those freaking profit targets. Man, is it ever hard though, but it's something I got to work on. So yeah, ended up getting rid of it all there at 25. Sold it 24.81, sold 20 shares, and then I sold the other 20 shares there at 25. So boom, boom, 10 bucks each, locking in that profit. And as you can see, I should have definitely held that one on a bit longer, because we had a really nice secondary bull flag, even a little bit of a consolidation here, and then a massive extension move that would have hit my original target, and that would have been a $54 win based on my $18 risk that I've been taking with all these trades. So that's what I wrote here. I wrote, I sold my position way too early and I should have scaled up much slower. That's a -2 off the execution. Stick to your freaking profit targets. It's so hard for me. That's like the one thing I struggle with. I even have a video that says my biggest flaw as a trader, and I never stick to my profit targets, because when it's there and it's in front of me, I want to just take it. And that's why I like scaling out so much, because I know how easy these things can just go away. Also, I should have placed my stop loss a bit lower to let the stock breathe a bit more while it was in this bull flag pattern. So This is kind of tight. I should have had it like maybe down here at 23.85 and taken a few less shares just so that, because that would have really sucked if if it popped below 24 for a second, it stopped me out and then ripped. I would have been pretty upset. That would have sucked if that happened. So yeah, that was NKLA. That was a nice one. That netted us right there. That was a $18 win, including commission, so that's net profit. So you can see I kind of dug myself out of the hole at this point from the loser, which was nice. Yeah, execution 7 out of 10. The only thing I did wrong was I didn't stick to my profit targets on that one. Last trade of the day was on WWR for a trade line VWAP crossover setup. Same one as I traded yesterday in yesterday's video, where I messed up on exiting my whole position instead of only selling 50 shares there. I forget the stock, but you know, if you go watch yesterday's video, exact same setup as this, and you can see on yesterday the thing ripped. So I was hoping we'd have something similar today, and I was not touching that profit target. I was ready to let my final piece hit up there. I did great on this one, but it never really got going. I waited for volume, trade line holding support, higher high, etc. I took off a tier into the extension move, and I held the rest for more. I stopped out with no hesitation once it broke below VWAP. My risk was very well managed. Rated this one 10 out of 10. Nothing I can think of that I did wrong, and I ended up being a little bit red here just from commissions, just because I had a piece that I took off and it was in profit, and then when I got stopped out on the rest, it ended up making me red. So let's try and zoom in here. So let's add in the trade line if we can. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, this thing's gapped up in the morning, sold off, and then we started to come up and test VWAP here, and I saw it forming into a bit of a bit of like an ascending wedge pattern just below VWAP, and we ended up breaking out here on some nice volume. So I got long right there. Got long on WWR. 37 shares at 37. Oh no. 113 shares at 305 right here, and you can see my stop loss was here at 289. So I was long at 305, stop loss 289, take profit up here at 353. So I was looking for the move. I was definitely looking for the move, but it never happened. You can see we popped up for a bit here, and I actually think I top ticked this. I took a little piece off at, I sold 1/3 of my position there at 322, and the high of this candle was 322, so I actually top ticked this tier off here, and that is the absolute key of tiering out of your positions. And that's such the dilemma I have right now, where if I tier out too much, I get eaten by commissions, but I don't want to not tier out at all, because then right now I would have been $18 red on this if I didn't. It would have been $18. Yeah, it would have been maybe not 18. I forget what my, oh yeah, okay. So my original stop loss was at 289, and I ended up stopping out of this thing at 298. So I moved my stop loss up once this thing started to come down, because I knew as soon as it crossed VWAP, that was it. So by moving my stop loss up and taking a tier off on this extension move, I ended up getting out of this with just a very small paper cut, including commissions, where if I just left my original stop loss and didn't take a tier off, it would have been a full-size $20 loss versus basically a break even. So that's why I love taking tiers off as this thing moves up. And I knew it was extended here, so the best thing to do is just take a little bit off, and then you hold the rest, obviously, for the rest of the move, but you got to tier out of those winners. So that saved me, the tier out there and moving my stop loss right up underneath VWAP once I kind of saw this thing rounding over. Yeah, just stopped out right there, no worries, saved myself from all this, and yeah, great execution on this one. No complaints at all. Yeah, 10 out of 10 for that one. That's a trade line VWAP crossover that just didn't happen. Just didn't have the momentum. Maybe because it was lunchtime. Happened at around right around noon. It happened. So probably just didn't have enough gas in the tank. And you can see that even on the daily chart, that was great. We were over these prior highs here, and we had room up to $4. So yeah, that was definitely a trade that could have been a big one, and it just didn't happen. WWR was a low float too, I think. Yeah, it was only 7 million share float, so this thing could have been ripping if it wanted to. Anyways, guys, that's it today. Pretty tough day. Honestly, this market lately has just been eating me alive. But I'm surviving, and that's all trading is just surviving. So whatever. Scratch day today. Yeah, that's it, guys. Adios.